Located in upstate New York, Amsterdam is a small city that sprung up out of the industrial boom in the area, with numerous factories and mills utilizing the Mohawk River for power. But post-World War II, many industries began to leave the area, and even today the shells of some of these vacant buildings remain. By 1973, as their population continued to shrink, the city tried their hand at the popular urban renewal concept, choosing to demolish most of their downtown in favor of an enclosed shopping center. Utilizing $17 million in federal grants for its construction, a further $25 million to build a new thoroughfare, and increasing property taxes by 45%, the city needed the 300,000 square foot Amsterdam Mall to be a success, and the mayor said as much.
I urge the people of Amsterdam to support the mall and spend as much of your dollars in Amsterdam as you possibly can.
Perhaps it was a bad omen when the cheerleaders hired for the grand opening began to faint from heat exhaustion. But, in spite of Amsterdam continuing to lose its population, the mall would be a great success, predicting retailers to do up to $20 million in sales per year.
It means jobs for people, new community spirit. It's a real big day for the city.
For 11 years, the mall would succeed, until the nearby Rotterdam Mall opened in 1988, which began to leech storefronts over the next decade, along with big box stores opening along Route 30 out of town. In 1995, it would be rebranded as the Riverfront Center, with the interior being used for mixed-use commercial and retail, while the exterior would be converted to a plaza. But through all the changes, the vintage interior decor has never been updated, making the former Amsterdam Mall a true 70s time warp. If you know Ruin Road, you know we value our privacy. But in our personal life, it's not always easy to maintain. Whether we know it or not, sites will mine our data like full name, email, health records, and more, which they will sell to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who wants to snoop. That's why we started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows us which data brokers are selling our personal information and automatically submits opt-out requests on our behalf. This not only reduces the amount of spam you'll get, but protects against hackers who can use this information to gain access to our social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. Aura also provides a ton of other features bundled into one easy-to-use app at an affordable price. You get antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without needing to bother with different apps. We all have one or more of these tools already, but not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. And if you're a regular viewer, you'll know how often that happens. Like 24-hour security, motion sensors, and guard dogs, Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping my info safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. Relaxing. Ruin Road values our privacy, and we also value yours. Go to aura.com/ruinroad to start a free 2-week trial, also linked below in the description.
No radios. Thank you.
On March 31st, 1977, Phase 1 of the Amsterdam Mall would open, with all 11 stores ready for shoppers. Prize drawings for gifts and 2 all-expense-paid trips were held. The tiny mall was an immediate success, but delays in grant money would halt Phase 2 until 1979, which saw the dual-level section and 800-car parking garage built at a cost of $12.2 million. 50 new stores were planned, including anchors of Carl Co., Denby's, and CVS, which would open a year after Phase 2 was completed in 1980. For this second grand opening, a week-long air show was held. When the Olympic torch runner passed through Amsterdam for the 1980 Summer Olympics, he made a pit stop to the new mall for a photo and signing. Beginning in 1981, an annual stock car show would be held around its anniversary, and racing films would be projected during the celebration before the cars would be entered into the race the next month at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds. In 1986, the upper floor of the mall was temporarily converted into an RC car track for races. The Amsterdam Memorial Hospital would hold an annual Healthy Baby Fair here starting in 1984, where all babies born the past year were invited to attend a reunion party that featured clowns, balloons, cake, ice cream, and family portraits. The first step in the downfall of Amsterdam Mall would come in 1986, when the Amsterdam Mall Associates would take out a $10 million mortgage to purchase the building, which had been owned by the city. However, almost immediately, they stopped making payments on their loan, and would file for bankruptcy protection in 1989, thus tangling things up in court over the next several years. Due to this, the bank lender would go belly up itself, and was taken over by the Resolution Trust Corporation, a federal agency that had been just created to oversee failed savings and loan institutions. During this, when the state passed a no smoking bill in public spaces, Amsterdam Mall would be one of the first area malls to create a designated smoking area, which was a vacant storefront they converted into a 400-foot smoker's room. The New York State Beautiful Baby Pageant would be held here in 1990, with winners receiving a $50 cash bond. But, as the mall's ownership was in dispute, things had begun to decline. And in 1992, the Carlco anchor and the Present Company would close, followed by a string of smaller tenants. Denby's had closed back in 1982 due to the entire company going bankrupt, stating that though the store here had operated less than a year, it was not closing due to poor performance. The first non-traditional tenant at the mall was radio station WMVQ-FM, which had opened in 1982. But amidst the 1992 wave of closures, one local opened a diner inside, and the New York Central Mutual Fire Insurance Company would move its offices onto the second floor and expand its staff from 25 to 100. By the end of the year, a feasibility study was being conducted for the Amsterdam City Hall to sell its current building and move into the mall as a cost-cutting measure. But citizens would eventually veto the idea, and it has remained in the same historic building ever since. By August that year, the mall would go into foreclosure proceedings, its only bidder being the RTC, who purchased it for just $2.6 million. After all the legal entanglement, officials estimated that the whole ordeal cost taxpayers $13 million. Further hurting the mall is when big box stores such as Kmart and Walmart would open on nearby Route 30, and the Riverfront cinemas would close after it had expanded from 4 to 7 screens in 1987. In 1994, a group out of Pennsylvania would agree to purchase the mall, but backed out when they could not pull a planned anchor. The following year, when McRory Department Store and Fashion Bug announced their closure, CVS was noted as being the largest store left in the 30% occupied mall, when a local owner of a concrete company would purchase the property for just $650,000. Cranesville had first made a $2.5 million offer in 1993, but withdrew after they said the process was moving too slowly and more stores were leaving. As soon as they purchased the mall in 1995, they set about rebranding it as a mixed-use retail and commercial property, along with utilizing it for their own cement company. They would get 5 new tenants right away for the newly named Riverfront Center. But the initial success wore off, and shortly after the new millennium, the interior was as desolate as ever, though the largest anchor building had been filled by Ace Hardware. Around 2016, the city would try to create a new tourist attraction by spending $2.5 million on the Mohawk Valley Gateway Overlook, which spans the river just beside the mall. In 2018, Amsterdam would receive another $10 million in grant money as part of New York's Downtown Revitalization Initiative. But as Riverfront Center was now a privately held business, it would see none of this money. In 2021, a film titled The Last Frankenstein would film in the area, and Riverfront Center would be utilized for a few scenes. Since the time of our filming in 2022, some changes have come to the mall. First, the parking garage that had been closed off since 2019 would be demolished, and storefronts in that section were converted into exterior-facing stores, with several new tenants moving in. Extreme Pickleball would open 4 courts inside the remodeled former receiving area for the mall in 2023, and the year following, a Nerf gun area would open inside, but close after less than 6 months. In its nearly 50-year life cycle, Amsterdam Mall has seen a number of changes, from traditional mall to office space to a new hybrid of retail, office, and lifestyle complex. This is the plan commonly put forward for many malls attempting to revitalize themselves. But for Amsterdam, it seems to be happening organically. The city is still in the process of developing their own recreational complex in a lot adjacent to Riverfront Center, as part of its plan to continue downtown revitalization. For many locals, Riverfront Center is a sore reminder of the former downtown they lost, while others note the city was struggling well before the mall. In time, no doubt a plan for the failed mall will come forward, and likely this vintage 70s design will be no more. But in the meantime, if you're ever in the mood to step back into 1977, why not pay a visit to Amsterdam's Riverfront Center?